welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it very, very much. Always glad to get updates from what's happening over around our area here from Troop C. Welcome back into the program, Trooper Ross Brennan, Public Information Officer with Troop C of Louisiana State Police. Welcome back to the program.
Always glad to be here.
We appreciate it. Well, listen, we're glad you're out and about, and we know that being out and about when we get freezing and cold weather is a dangerous time, and just some things that people need to really think about to kind of be on their best behavior, if you will.
Yeah. So it's not often we deal with freezing weather.
Right.
But winter definitely decides to show up this coming weekend. So, it seems like about Friday evening, that's when we're going to start looking at some freezing temps coming in. But the problem with that is they're also talking about rain. So what we're looking at is a potential for maybe some iced overpasses. I don't know if you remember last year we had the same instance where Highway 90 and some other bridges had to be closed suddenly because it was basically ice. A lot of these bridges will freeze over before the roadway does. So that's our big concern right now with these freezing temperatures and also that water remaining on the roadway with this rain. So we're going to be out there for sure monitoring the roadways, keeping up to date. And the main thing, and the good thing also is that it's on the weekend, so it's not a work week, so you're not going to have that much travel on the roadway. But the main thing is that we kind of want the people to kind of stay off the roadway if they can. Try to limit that travel, because whenever you're driving on these roadways and potential of black ice, one, you're putting yourself at risk, but also first responders who have to get to you.
Right.
You might have an instance too where they're on the crash scene and you were driving on black ice near the area, and you could potentially lose control. So
Right.
it just kind of puts everybody in danger whenever you are on the roadway. So at home, maybe take a chance to maybe clean up around the house, drink some hot cocoa or something like that. Just stay home and try not to get on the roadway this weekend if you can, especially if they got rain with these cold temperatures. But some tips with driving safety. If you do find yourself on the roadway, just slow those speeds down and also reduce that following distance, because it gives you enough reaction time. If you do find yourself in a situation where your car begins to slide, if you're not right up on a car's bumper and you slow those speeds down, you'll be able to react a lot better than if you were speeding or something like that. And same thing with driving in the rain. Also take off that cruise control, turn that off, because that can also increase your chances of losing control. So if you do find yourself on the roads this weekend, just try to keep those things in mind and hopefully try to make for a better drive.
Yeah, and just make a different plan.
Yeah.
As my wife and I were talking about this earlier last night and today about being out of town. It's like, you know what? No, let's just stay in town, because we're gonna have to travel on Friday.
Yeah.
Both of us work, can't leave until after work, but we're not going.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stay at home and be able to be safer. And also just thinking ahead about those kinds of things, and just knowing that. And just one of the things we can't control is what may happen with our vehicle if we're going too fast, if we're traveling too close by our vehicle. So if something bad does happen, we can react to it and have some room and less speed to recover.
Certainly. And a lot of times these things, it suddenly changes. A lot of times when people start waking up in the morning, more traffic, more people are starting to call in, hey, they got ice in this section, so we got to hurry up and close the roadway. So just be prepared to maybe alter your travel route if you have to. The best advice I can say is follow Louisiana State Police social media and also LADOTD social media, because that's the quickest way to find up-to-date information. Because like I said, troopers are going to be out there monitoring, so we have to shut down Highway 90 because there's ice on some overpasses. We're going to post that right away. So just be prepared that maybe your route that you normally take, you might have to take an alternative route that doesn't involve bridges or overpasses, because there is a potential for there to be ice on the roadway, especially with these conditions. But as these cold weathers come in, just stuff around the house, make sure your pipes are wrapped. You definitely don't want to come Sunday when temperatures start warming up, realize you have a freeze pipe that busted. Now you got to deal with a water leak, right? Mm-hmm. And also, if you have any type of pets or anything like that outside, bring that inside. Because if you don't want to be out in the cold weather, neither does an animal. So some type of way that you can give them shelter, some warmth, just for this weekend. Another thing with animals too is that a lot of times they'll seek shelter in warm areas, and that is potentially underneath the hood of a car. So you might have a cat or a raccoon or some type of animal that might get into your engine bay of your vehicle. So maybe this weekend, make some noise around the engine bay, kind of startle it, maybe drive it out if there is something in there, because we've heard stories before where people start their engine and there's an animal underneath it. So just try to avoid something potentially bad happening like that. Also check on vulnerable groups, like either the handicapped or the elderly, people who might not be able to get around their house that well. Make sure that, one, they're set up for this weekend, they have enough food, their house is properly prepared, and that they'll be safe. Because I hate to hear stories of people who can't really getting out and prepare, and they end up suffering for this. So if you have loved ones that you know about who might need a hand, give them a ring before this weather comes in. Just kind of help them get situated and prepared.
I have an extra case of MREs if anybody
There you
needs
go.
it. We got it donated to the place that I work, and so I'm available. You can reach me through here at HTV, where we can get those to people that may need it. The other thing is that so many people are now in either mobile homes or trailers or travel trailers. I want to remind everybody to go out and get your propane filled. So before the weekend is over, go fill your propane so your heaters are going to be working.
Yeah. Also with heaters too, make sure those space heaters are far away from like curtains or the wall or different things like that. So I would say at minimum 5 feet away from the wall, because you don't want to cause a potential fire hazard, especially people who are staying inside these mobile homes and RVs where it might not be that easy to get out compared to a house or something like that. So just please take the utmost caution, especially with this weather when people are using those space heaters. And also don't overload the extension cords too. If you have too many of these space heaters, they draw a lot of power.
They really do.
Yeah, and so you can fry and cause a fire just because the cord's getting overworked. So just keep those things in mind, because we want to get through this safely and without potential tragedy. So if people kind of keep these safety tips in in the back of their head, then hopefully it works out.
Well, so some really great information, and again, you can find out more information on the social network pages for both state police and who's the second one you mentioned?
Louisiana DOTD.
Louisiana DOTD. So, Ross, we appreciate you coming on and spending some time just keeping us all safe. And thank you for all the troopers that are going to be out there and everybody who is first responders who are out there really in harm's way to keep everybody safe. We can't thank you all enough for the work that you do. Well, we appreciate it. Come rain or snow or ice, right?
Yeah. We'll see.
It's thankful. We appreciate that very much. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A lot more Bayou time when we continue.